Good day, everyone. I am Miss Lyka CLAVERIA, your instructor for today. For today's discussion, we shall have prepositions. I know you are quite familiar with what prepositions are, and you are probably using it in communicating with others or doing your homework such as sentences, paragraphs, and other academic-related writings. So to formally introduce what prepositions are, let's have our next slide, please. So here you can see two sentences. The first sentence is, there's a beautiful park by my house. And the second sentence is, Jay goes to the gym on Wednesdays. Can you try to guess or to identify what is the prepositions used in each sentence? For here, let's have Mr. Castro.
The first sentence, the preposition is by.
Yes. How about the second sentence? Still Mr. Castro.
The second sentence, Jace goes to the gym on Wednesdays. I believe the preposition is on.
Yes, very good. Nice guess. So the preposition in the first sentence is the word by, which shows the relationship between the park and the house. On the second sentence, we have there the preposition on, which shows when does Jay goes to the gym, which is on Wednesdays. So these words are called simple prepositions. So what are simple prepositions? Next slide, please. So simple prepositions. These describe the relationships between two other words. They are usually part of a prepositional phrase, which is made up of a preposition followed by an object. An object can be a noun, a pronoun, or a noun phrase. So prepositions are words that are used to describe the relationships between different parts of a clause. And the relationships can be a relationship of time, relationship of place, or relationship or of reason. So to further analyze and understand what simple prepositions are, let us have some examples. In this slide, I am going to read the sentences and I am going to call someone to identify which is the simple prepositions used in each sentence. So the first sentence, someone drove over the bridge. Miss Kalimdim, can you identify which is the preposition used here?
The the preposition pa is over.
Very good. How about the second sentence? Hisong sat on the chair. What is the preposition used?
The preposition is on.
Okay. The preposition over and on are called simple prepositions like what we've had discussed in the previous slides. This states the relationship between the two clauses, which is the Sunghun drove and where did he drove? It is over the bridge. And Hisung sat on the chair. The preposition on states where did Hisung sat and it is on the chair. Next slide, please. For this, we have this sentence, the bank is next to the library. Can you try to spot where is the preposition here? Let's have Mr. Castro.
The preposition in the sentence is the word to.
Okay, nice try. The preposition here is the words next to. It can be seen as a two-word group, but it acts as a one-word group. Next slide, please. This kind of preposition is called a complex preposition. It is a word group, like what I've said, such as along with or on account of, which functions like an ordinary one-word preposition. When we say one-word preposition, we refer to the simple prepositions such as on, at, in, or by, and many more. For us to understand it again, let's have examples. I'm going to read the sentences again and I'll call someone to identify the complex preposition here. So for the first sentence, Everyone was present except for Mark. Let's have Miss Kalimlim. Yan. Okay, let's have Miss Kalimlim.
My answer po is except for.
Very good. How about the second sentence? Do you want some beef along with broccoli?
Along with.
Okay, very good. So as you can see, the prepositions here are except for and along with. Complex prepositions can also come in 2, 3, or more word group, but always remember that it only acts as a one group preposition. Let's have our next slide. Do you still follow, class?
Yes po.
Yes. I believe it is easy because you might tackle it already in your last or previous discussions. So let's continue. We have here two sentences. The first sentence is, I sent presents to Jake and to Nikki. And the second sentence is, look at and listen to the teacher. As you can notice here, we have two prepositions each sentence. In the first sentence, we have two word to. We use the word to twice. And in the second sentence, we have the prepositions at and to. In the first sentence, you can see that there is what you call this? Um, a box or something that is on the second word to, because we try to, or we omitted that to in order for us to avoid redundancy. While on the second sentence, we use the two prepositions at and to. And these are called rules of prepositions, which is parallel prepositions. Next slide, please. So parallel prepositions. It has two rules, like what I've said, like what we've used in the sentences above. So the first rule is, when the same preposition applies to more than one word in a list, the preposition only needs to be used once, like what we did. We omitted the second word, the second preposition to, in order to avoid redundancy, because it serves the same function as the first preposition to. Meanwhile, on the second sentence and the second rule, when different words need different prepositions, each preposition must be used. So in the second sentence, we have there at least two prepositions, and we use them both because they serve different functions in the sentence. We shall have examples to further understand the parallel prepositions. I am going to read the sentence and you are going to identify the prepositions as always. So the sentence one is, you can wear that outfit in summer and in winter. The second sentence is, the children were interested in and disgusted by the movie. Let's have Miss Kalimlim to identify the prepositions or preposition in the first sentence.
The preposition in the first sentence is in.
Okay. So are we going to use it twice or once only?
Once only po.
Okay, thank you. In the second sentence, what are the prepositions used?
In the second sentence, the prepositions is are, in, and by.
Okay, very good. Now, I know you can easily identify which is the prepositions here because it is in the middle of the sentence. Look at the position of the prepositions. It is in the middle of the sentence and it connects the clauses in the sentences. So we shall have our next slide, please. Okay, we have here another sentence. After graduating, I worked in a hospital. Can you guess what preposition is used here? Mr. Castro.
I think the preposition used in the sentence is the word after.
Okay, very good. The word after here is our preposition. And after the word after, we have the word graduating, which is a verb, and it is in a gerund or ing form. And this is what we call prepositions and gerunds. We shall have our next slide, please. Prepositions and gerunds. The rule is if a verb comes immediately after a preposition, it has to be a gerund, which is the ing form of a verb, like what we've had after graduating. We have the preposition after, then we use the verb in ing form, which is a gerund. Let's have some examples. Okay. Miss Kalimlim, please read and identify the prepositions and gerunds in each sentence.
The first sentence, instead of applying for a job, I went to college. The preposition is instead and the gerund is applying. And the second sentence, after seeing the job listing, I wrote a cover letter. The preposition is after and the gerund is seeing.
Okay, thank you. Let me just correct you in the first sentence. The our preposition here is instead of. It's the two-word group which acts as a one-word preposition again. We can easily identify the preposition by just looking at the ing form, or we need to first look at the verb, which is in ing form, which is the gerund, and we must look at the words before that verb, before the verb, and that is our preposition for the sentence. For that, let's have our next slide. For this, we have the preposition to used in different sentences. So the first sentence is, I'm listening to some music. And the second sentence is, I like having something to listen to. This shows that we can use the preposition to in different parts of our sentences. As you can notice in the first sentence, we use the word to in the middle part of our sentence. Meanwhile, on the second sentence, we use the preposition to at the end of our sentences. And this rule is called, next slide, please. Prepositions at the end of sentences. So, like what I've said, prepositions can come in many different places in a sentences, including at the end. So, we shall have examples for this also. Okay. Mr. Castro, please read the following sentences and identify the prepositions.
The first sentence is she is the friend I am referring to, and the preposition used is the word to, while on the second sentence, do something you are usually quite confident about, the preposition used is the word about.
Okay. So, as the rule states itself, the prepositions at the end of the sentences, we just need to look at the end of the sentences and we are going to find the prepositions used. Let's have our next slide, please. Okay, here. In here, we have our preposition to, used in two different sentences again. So the first sentence goes like, I'm going to see my friends tonight. And the second sentence, I'm looking forward to seeing them. The first sentence used the word to as not a preposition, but as a part of the infinitive verb. The infinitive verb here is to see. And so he used, or the sentence, we use the sentence as a part of the infinitive verb. Meanwhile, on the second sentence, we use the preposition to as a part of the phrasal verb, which is the to look forward to, and thus making it a preposition. And also, let me just add the use of the verb seeing, which is a verb in ing form or a gerund. So making the word to a preposition. I'm looking forward to seeing them. Okay, next slide, please. Hmm. We are done. We are through the discussion. So now let's have our activity. It will be just a simple and short activity for I only have here 6 sentences, and each of you will have 3 sentences each. The directions are you are going to read the sentence first and then identify the prepositions used, or whether you are going to decide whether it has prepositions or not. So first, let's have Mr. Castro.
The first sentence is the Eiffel Tower is in Paris, and I believe that the preposition used is the word in. While on the second sentence, after cooking our dinner, I watched n o'clock. And in this sentence, the preposition is the word after, and it was followed by a gerund, which is the word cooking. And for the last sentence po, I'm going to see the party. I believe there's no preposition used, since just like earlier, the word to is followed by an infinitive verb, which is see. So, yun po.
Okay, very good. Thank you so much, Mr. Castro. Now we shall have Miss Kalimbin for the last 3 sentences.
Okay. The high building is near to the garden. The preposition is. And the second sentence, I received letters from J and J. The preposition is from. And last sentence, Jungwon's car is parked in front of the dorm. The preposition is in.
Okay. Let me just correct you. The preposition in the first sentence is not is, but rather to. It is to. Okay. I think that you kind of understand this lesson, and you are just probably um being uh you are probably just being confused of because we have really different rules in prepositions. But I hope the discussion for today lasts to you, and I hope you can use this in your academic related writings or even in communicating with others. So to wrap it up, we can say that prepositions describe the relationships of the different clause in each sentence. It is also can be used in different parts or in the different positions in the sentence. We can have it in the beginning, in the middle, and after the sentences or the ending of the sentences. And also, the preposition to can be confusing because it can act as an infinitive part of the of the sentence, and it can also act as a preposition in a phrasal verb. So be mindful and be careful in looking at those preposition to. And that ends our discussion for today. I hope you learned something from our discussion. Thank you so much for participating.
Thank you
Thank you
po.
po.
Thank you, class.